Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I read about this incident yesterday and the day before, and I was thinking while I was covering the developments in the Bakhmut, where the Russians seemed like encircled the city and they control all their in and outs of the city. And that is, the Ukrainians blew up a dam over there to stop the Russians from advancing, and I thought I should investigate a little bit further on that, what happened. I found that information on an article coming from Al Mayadin, which is an Arab independent news agency. When I say independent, that's what they claim. You can claim whatever you want, but anyway, I tell you, it's skewed towards a certain direction. And I looked for the article because I found the article 2 days ago, and it was so hard to find it now to make this video. Really, I had to go straight into the Al Mayadin, go over there, try to find it, because if I just did a search on general, like the exact words that I had from the article, I couldn't find. Whatever browser did not bring it back. It brought other stupidities from the 14th of February with a bridge that was blown up by the Ukrainians, so they stopped the Russians' advancing in Bakhmut. So all kind of other, the Telegraph, the beautiful newspaper that don't say anything. And I said, no, that's not what I need. I put the exact word, the exact name, everything. The article would not show up. So that's why I had to go back into Al Mayadin and find the exact article only over there. It was nothing else, nowhere else. So I found it eventually, but I'm just saying how interesting it is that everything else, that really the keywords not really related with the article, I put the name of the exact name. Why? Because I take pictures of the articles, and then I have them all the time. So I knew exactly what I'm going to put in the browser here. Did not come up. Why? But I got it for you and for me, and I'm glad. I just spent some time to do this BS instead of going straight. It's just an observation how these guys are trying to prevent us to access whatever information doesn't fit the narrative. So as I said, Al Mayadin, and this is from the 28th of February. Remember, the other stupid articles that were coming about the bridge occurred on the 14th of February, and they were coming all over with a Telegraph and Newsweek and Buzzweek and all that. Kiev forces blew up dam near Bakhmut to slow down Russia, DPR official. Obviously, this is what these guys report. But as Zelensky reports his side of the deal, these guys can do the same thing, unless you say these guys are lying all the time and the other guy is telling the truth all the time, which we know that's impossible. They all lie, more or less. That's the only thing. The Ukrainian armed forces blew up a dam near Bakhmut amid major advances for Russia in a bid to curb Moscow's offensive. Remember when the Russians were blaming the Ukrainians, or at least saying, hey, the Ukrainians might blow that Dnieper River, I think it was by Severodonetsk or something, where there was that, whatever, it was a dam over there, and the Russians said the Ukrainians might do that so they can wipe the Russian forces. That's why the Russians, they moved eastward to higher ground, just because they said if these guys blow that dam, the whole water will destroy us, and they're capable of doing that. Everybody, the Western media, everybody, obviously, the Western media, the Ukrainians said, nah, the Russians are trying to blow it up. Yeah, so they wiped their own people downstream. But anyway, it seems like Ukrainians did it, according to these guys. As I said, the information comes from Al Mayadin. It's not from Ukraine, it's not from Russia, and the other thing comes from the DPR, so Donetsk People's Republic head, which obviously is going to tell us how evil those guys are, as those guys tell you how evil the Russians are. Why? Because that's how we are, beautiful, civilized organisms. All right, let's see. Soldiers from the Ukrainian armed forces blew up a dam near Bakhmut, also known as Artyomovsk. This is by Russian name, in a bid to slow down the Russian offensive and force civilians to leave the besieged city, an advisor to the head of the Donetsk People's Republic, Igor Kimakovsky, said on Saturday. And I'm quoting, a dam was blown up and the resulting torrent of water flowed towards Artyomovsk, Bakhmut. They are likely trying to halt our offensive. Maybe they want to try to cut off our assault units from the rear to slow down munition supply, Kimakovsky told Russian news agency Sputnik. This is what they claim it is. I'm not going to play that because I don't know how, you know how it is. Sometimes you're afraid to play something because you don't know what these weasels are up to, and then you have to start over and over because they say, this is that. Even though I don't think it's going to be any problem. Let's see. Oh no, I don't want to. Let's see if it goes there and shows me everything, anything. Well, it shows just a river flowing downstream here, but I don't think that's no, not now. But I don't think it really makes point. But maybe they're lying. But who knows? We'll find in 20 years. Okay, here is where this dam supposedly was blown up. All right, let's keep going here. According to the advisor, the move could also mean that Ukrainians were preparing to abandon the city to the Russian forces and were getting desperate. I totally agree with this statement right here. But it doesn't mean they are. And I'm quoting, they told civilians to evacuate. They told that a long time ago. Their goal is to make living conditions unbearable. They do not care about the people, blah, blah, blah. Okay, they only care about destroying the city so that it would be economically unfeasible for us to rebuild. Denis Pushiling's advisors added. Very possible. Ukrainian Deputy Prime Minister Irina Vereshchuk urged last week all residents of Bakhmut to evacuate from the city immediately. And I'm quoting, I appeal to the civilians who are still in Bakhmut, if you are adequate, law-abiding and patriotic citizens, you must evacuate immediately, end quote. She wrote on Telegram. I covered that in one of my videos. Tra-la-la. The official declared that up to 6,000 people were still present in the city that was taken over by the Russian forces. Well, it was not taken at that time because this is from the 26th. I think it's taken is like the Russians encircled it and these guys need to come out. Ending that staying could expose them to danger. Second, you are creating additional problems and risks for all those people who are trying to help you, in parentheses, the military, the national police, volunteers. Third, you prevent our defense and security forces from working normally in the city because they have to be concerned about your safety all the time. Therefore, I once again urge you to evacuate immediately, end quote. Russian forces gained ground in the northern part of the strategic city of Bakhmut and blocked 3 out of the 4 routes supplying Ukrainian troops since early February. Now they're all done according to, not blocked right now, but they are under the Russian striking abilities. So that means whatever comes in and out, the Russians can blow it up. That is not blocked, but yeah, you go, we're gonna be able to shoot you now. That's according to an article I covered yesterday. So days earlier, White House National Security Council spokesperson Weasel John Kirby warned that the city of Bakhmut may fall to Wagner forces. I think it fell a long time ago, but that was my assessment. But it will not have a strategic bearing on the war as a whole. This guy is such a BS guy. The Russians, the Ukrainians are trying to defend it with everything they got. They made a lot of statements that Bakhmut will not, must not fall, and it's just going to have not a strategic bearing. And then you have articles saying that if that opens up, I think the Russians go towards what? I can't remember the towns. I don't think it's Kupiansk. It starts with a S. I can't remember. Anyway, it opens the roads towards western side of the country. There's nothing in between, it seems like. Kirby acknowledged the recent advances made by Wagner in Bakhmut, but noted that it was still uncertain whether the city would fall. Let me inform you, Kirby, yes. And I don't have a crystal ball, but I use my brain. So, and I urge Kirby to use that one too. I think he uses it, but for the wrong reasons and for the wrong side. Why the wrong side? I think he's talking too much disinformation. But that's part of his job. I understand the one too. But I'm glad we are not prevented yet from thinking. We are prevented from, because if you say something that's not liked or contrasts the narrative too much, then nobody will hear you. Why? Because they make sure your videos or whatever you do is they're gonna be cut, unless you have a big platform, and then you don't have the towers to send the information. You know what happened with, what was that? Can't remember the company that was banned like that, taken out from the telephones. What was that? Parler, I think it was. Parler, I think so. About when they say something and then all of a sudden you didn't hear from them. They were like, done. Yeah, Parler, I think. So anyway, that video, if that video was meant to make the point or be used as evidence, I don't think that was very convincing. Do you? I mean, it was a little stream over there with water flowing. Remember, over there, if it's winter and if precipitation, you have a warmer day or 2 warm days, the whole thing starts melting. And anyway, that was not a big flow of water that would, but that adds. I mean, I've seen all kind of floods with a little stream, if you know how to divert it and what direction, it's gonna go. Well, this is it. I'm just covering this because the Russians used this many times. They blew up that dam, and I just want to see. They didn't give you anything about what kind of surface was inundated or flooded or anything like that, which is concerning, or at least suspicious. Because if I would have the evidence, I would expose it as much as I can, and I give you numbers and I give you pictures and I show you from the angles that work for me, obviously, and you're gonna say, oh my god, look at that. But this guy's, that little video on Twitter was, if I go to the bathroom, I pee more than that. But anyway, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.